growing up in Salt Lake, I think, look, I mean, the geography around us is incredible. In 45 minutes that way, I can literally be on the moon. And in 2.5 hours that way, I can be on Mars. And then in 45 minutes that way, I can be like in a high mountain alpine wilderness that the only thing around are chipmunks and super solitary mountain lakes, and that's it. Also, growing up in my house, in my dad's office, he had this huge print of Ansel Adams, the Grand Teton print, and it was 24 by 36 at least, plus framing, and gigantic print on his wall. And so as I sort of dug through the layers of photography and started shooting film again, for me, I finally arrived at portraiture being the sort of ultimate conquest of photography for me. Every time I make a portrait, it's a new challenge, because it's not just the lighting, the angle, the scene, whatever you're trying to create, but it's also what that person's expectations are of being photographed and what the viewer's biases are when they view that photograph. And so the challenge for me is, as I've grown into portraiture more, is less about controlling lighting and that, and more about how I want to sort of make sure in some ways that there's something that the viewer will look at and say, I didn't expect that. I kind of stumbled upon the lab. And then I got my first scans back, and I asked for feedback. Like, I think my first scans were just like Basic Plus or whatever the option was back then, because I wanted feedback on my exposures, mostly. I was like, okay, no, I know I'm nailing my exposures, but something was wrong with the previous lab. Anyway, I got the feedback back, and I was like, no, it's them, not me. It's them, not me. And every roll since, for 10 years, is money. It's just awesome. It's always the same. It's what I expect. You probably didn't ask for this feedback, but like when I send my film to the lab, I know exactly what I'm getting back, and it's what I shot. That's it. Look, here's a little story. I was standing in this courtyard in Havana, off the Malecon, and it was the film school road trip to Cuba. And so we had been walking the Malecon, and like I'm standing in this courtyard that's like got a old fountain in the middle, and it doesn't have water, and its paint is just chipping off of literally everything, and it's a combination of like teal and like it used to be emerald green, and the sky is just the most blue thing I've ever seen in my whole life, and the buildings are all these like bright colors. And if you've seen photographs of Havana, and especially the Malecon, there's all these bright colors everywhere. Anyway, I'm standing in the square, and this car pulls up and breaks down like right in front of me, and this guy jumps out and pops the hood, and I'm like, I gotta make this photograph. And he was fixing his car in the middle of the street in this place where it's like just gorgeous, like, and so wide open. And a lot of Havana is so tight, like old Havana is like so small and so cluttered, but this scene was like wide open and just gorgeous, and the color tones were, and I snapped the shutter. I was like, wow, this is a different world. I've never been. It's like I took time travel back to the 60s or something, and yeah, that was it. That was the shot. The Cubans fixed their shit. Like they fixed their cars in the middle of the street.
So crazy.
Like they're literally like the hood's popped. There's a guy under there with a wrench, and he's fixing, or he's got a friend pulls up, and the friend gets out with some tools, and they fix the car in the middle of the street. They don't tow it away. There's no tow trucks. They fix it right there, like where it broke. It's cool.